Hey, Bill, this is Demetrius.
Hey, you got to be excited for the second season now of Banshee.
I'm excited about that. I'm excited about a lot of things.
Were you in the first season?
Yeah, I was in, I think I was in, what, eight of the episodes of the first season?
You made your screen debut in 2005, didn't you, with US Marshal, playing US Marshal number 3?
Actually, that was my first job in LA. Very first professional gig was on the HBO series The Wire. When I came out to LA, I had to do back then they did this thing called Must Join 30. And basically, you could join the union in 30 days. So that job helped me get my...
you get your face out, get some recognition going.
Yeah, like, he basically gave me an opportunity to get more opportunities, to get a SAG card.
You get your work from agents? Yeah, I got an agent. How does the business work out there for you?
By osmosis. No, I'm just kidding. Basically, you do something for long enough, and regardless of what it is, you could be an engineer, you could be a radio host, or a train conductor. If you do something well enough, and you do it, and you stay consistent with it, amidst the yeses and the nos. I mean, eventually, like it'll kind of attract you, and that's what happened with Saving Mr. Banks. It was a cast director that I'd seen, before, and I'm represented at the time, and so I was able to get him to be seen for it, and they liked it.
I haven't seen the movie yet, Saving Mr. Banks. I've been kind of saving myself to go see that movie. It's about
a really charming film. It's about your relationship with your parents, and your dreams. It's got a lot of heart to it. And people walk away, being glad they saw it.
Does it do a lot for it's? Does it show any like the background on like Walt Disney?
It does. You get to see who Walter Disney was. You get to see this guy. And I think that's appealing for some people. I think further, I play a Pullman porter. I don't know if you know Of course, you know the Pullman porters.
Sure.
I played one working in the Beverly Hills Hotel. Very small scene, but the reason I bring it up is because the scene is with Emma Thompson, and Emma is she's who we all are. She's a woman with her dream, and she has like her idea of the way the story should be, and so she's like going to stop at nothing basically to see that it's imprinted indelibly, in the film. And she experienced it with her dad. That's basically the story in a nutshell, without being a spoiler.
Oh, okay, good. I was always, and I heard Walt Disney himself's kind of an amazing story. Even with Disneyland, I heard the story went that one time he went out there, he had the dream of opening up this place called Disneyland, and he had like Jack Benny and these other investors he was hoping to get. Nobody wanted to go with him. And they said, and boom, I don't know if you ever heard that story. I don't know how factual it is, but that's what we heard growing up out there in California. And so
that's what's great about stories like that. It's funny. I grew up in Washington, in D.C., and so California, in many ways, is a figment in people's imagination. For most of the country on the other side of the Andes and the Colorado Rockies.
You're exactly right. I mean, I bet people who leave here in the Midwest, they go out for a time and they say, "Oh, you did your time out in L.A." and they said that's what it was like, because you being from the East, it would be the same way with you. Unless you grew up into it, it looks a lot different, and the people are a lot different too. And I always give the comparison here in the Midwest. Let's say you want to jump off a cliff. Well, here you sit down and you think about it. In L.A., you say, "Let's jump off a cliff." Okay, let's go. And you jump off the cliff. And you see.
Let's just make sure we have our propellers and our pulley ropes and
Yeah, there's really not a lot of thinking and wasting time, and it's always kind of happening and moving type of thing. And I know you got to be loving the weather.
I am, because I spent New Year's in New York, D.C. and New York. So. It was like coming out here. I just said, "Wow, I'm glad I have a little flat out."
You got to use passion for inspiring children to get out there and get active with music, theater, and art programs.
I have a very bad habit of wherever I am, connecting with the people there and going to their school and doing a workshop. I did one in New Orleans and one in North Carolina. Carolina. One in Pittsburgh, and so and one in Washington a long time ago.
You'd probably be in big demand. People, in the arts, the teachers want to get you in there and to inspire.
I think it's good for them, man. It's good for the kids. They get to see, they get to just ask you anything. If they have the courage. That's another thing you encounter. You see a lot of kids, because we have such a nano society, everything is, mobile and digital, and I guess socially, kids are sometimes having challenges developing, I think, socially as rapidly as we did when we were coming up.
Oh, yeah. Well, especially if you're spending your time behind a computer screen and you have 10,000 friends, how do you visit them all? That's
exactly. That's those things.
That's garbage. A lot of people just don't know how people are and how to interact, and that's a shame. Now this has got to be true. You're a big animal lover, right? Because you wanted to, at one time, become a veterinarian.
Wow, how did you know this?
I do. I do a little research on people. I say, I got to talk to this guy. Because I'm a big animal lover myself, and when you were doing assistant, like with a ophthalmologist, I never knew veterinarians were involved with that. What would it be like? Because
it was a funny story. It's because the ophthalmologist is a place called Eye Care for Animals, and they're out in Culver City. And anyway, long story short, you come out to LA, you go to New York, you go to wherever, Atlanta. You say you're gonna be, you're gonna try to do this artist thing. You're gonna try to make it happen, and it doesn't happen as fast as you think so, right? So you go over
nothing does.
and you start knocking on doors to do other stuff. You bust tables, you do whatever. You move people in moving vans. You work at a dog kennel or a dog medical office. That's what I did.
Oh, that's how you fell into it. Oh.
I fell into it out here. It was the last thing that I thought to do out here, but it was the thing I loved to do the most. And it was funny because I was doing the cliche thing. I tried to be a waiter somewhere. I'm not a good waiter. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because this is what they say you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Like animals. I'm going to use the meantime and
I understand you got a barbershop, is that right?
Nah, I don't have a barbershop.
You don't have a barbershop?
I have a barbershop, but it's not a real barbershop. I just take clients, man.
Oh, really?
I take clients and cut my friends.
What are you doing this?
I used to work in a barbershop a long time ago. Where are your sources? You know what? You are a very good radio
interviewer.
You're great.
I appreciate that, Demetrius. I really do. It means a lot to me coming from somebody like yourself. I got to tell you, anybody who makes it to your degree has to be a self-motivator and really love what you want to accomplish, because that's the only way you're going to make it happen. It doesn't come to you. You have to go over and get it. And even when you're getting it, people are kicking you down, And so it's a really tough business. So I respect anybody in positions in any of the arts, And of course, acting is something that everybody loves to look at and say, I would love to be the big star out there. But that's a hard thing to crack, and you're taking notches out of it, and that's terrific. So you're just cutting people's hair, just buddies and stuff. That's another thing you just picked up.
And people who called me, we did a commercial a long time ago, and it kind of made some traction, and people realized, oh, you cut hair, and they were like, it was a funny thing because the friend of mine, he's a music artist. He said nobody believed that I cut his hair, and I was like, really? But you're not supposed to brag about things, though. I was always taught you're not supposed to be braggadocious or lead with everything. Some things you just keep to yourself, but some news is just good news, and it just gets out there.
Healthy fried chicken. You like to cook?
I do, but not as often as I'd like to cook. I like to cook, but I don't cook as often as I'd like to cook.
Who does? Who does? But I guess I had here you make a famous healthy fried chicken.
My mom has the fried chicken recipe, so I just when I make it, I try to do everything that she does, but do it with egg whites and stuff instead of egg yolks, and
there's some
grapeseed oil instead of Crisco. Yeah.
Oh, there is a big difference there.
Okay, so that's it.
Are you allowed to spread
I'm not going to tell you about the flour, though.
You answered my question. My question was, I was going to ask you, can you spread that recipe around, or at least shoot it my way?
All of that, bruh. I ain't giving you all of that, bruh.
Oh man, you got to stay within.
Good talking to you, though, man. I'm glad we're getting a chance to chat.
Yeah, myself too. There, and I want to know what's your Twitter handle so people can follow you, Demetrius.
Demetrius Grosse. It's very simple. It's just my name, Grosse. The front is my surname, Demetrius.
Oh.
All one word.
No problem. Then to find you, I'm gonna.
But that's easy. But I'm gonna save that story. Never mind.
Okay. Keep that within you. I don't want to. You can't spread it all over the place.
Who would want to do that?
There you go. Well, Demetrius, it was a pleasure talking with you today. I'm glad you're out there enjoying the beautiful sun out there, and we're back here a little bit cooler today. But I'll tell you, it's another day and we're alive, and so we're happy. We're happy. So,
I love it, Bill. Have a good one.
You too. Bye, Demetrius.